Another job on the list was to adjust the clutch pedal, because there was basically no free play in it at all. In other words, as soon as I pressed down on the clutch pedal, I could feel the fingers around the clutch release bearing hitting the flywheel, hitting the pressure plate, we'll say. So what I did was I put a mark on where it was, and I stuck in this into the hole down there, stuck it in there, and I got my 11/16 spanner, loosened off that, and I put in a 10mm head of a bolt measuring about 10mm in underneath the foot peg there, between that and the clutch pedal, and that gave me 10mm of free play. And then I loosened that off and kept a good grip of this, and I could feel it wanting to go forward, so I just let it forward a hair at a time, and I tightened it, and when I had the right amount of free play, I tightened her up. So I always like to tighten these up good, because the last thing you want is going down the road is for this to all of a sudden, when you press the clutch pedal, that it actually turns on the shaft. So, and then I took off my PTO cap, because this is a dual clutch, or what's known as a live drive. It's got two clutches. Halfway down on the clutch pedal will stop the first clutch, and that'll stop the power going to the input shaft on the gearbox, and then you'll feel it get stiff and then hitting a second. So that's our first clutch there, and then that's second clutch. So you'll feel that's the end of the first clutch, the travel in the pedal, and then second. So turn on our petrol and I'll show this in action. So in with our PTO. That's ground actually, so I'll bring it, I think that's ground. So up with our clutch. Now I'm going to press the clutch down to the first stage. It doesn't affect it. Second stage, stops. Back up to the first stage, turning. First stage, no difference. Second, stops. And I have this kept pushed, the pedal pushed to the floor, so that shouldn't be turning. If this wasn't adjusted right, that would be turning. So I let it up a bit, press it again, and it stops, and it seems to stay stopped. So that's good. So now I'm going to try that one more time. First stage, no change. Second stage, stopped. So now what I'm going to do is put it back into neutral, let up my clutch. It's not turning, so I'm going to try and put it into gear. I like this to go into gear easy, and it is in gear easy. And stop it, press the clutch, and it's not turning at all. So I consider that to be well adjusted. So now we can put back on our cap. That was a lovely original find in a load of parts I got. A job lot of parts. So that's that. So that was just another little job I wanted to do, because I was worried that there'd be a bit of extra wear happening in there if this wasn't travelling enough. So now when the engine running, see my hand moving? That's the fingers on the clutch release bearing, pushing that bearing in towards the pressure plate. So I do have to press it down a little bit, for that to happen. It's not shaking at all when it's in the non-active position. So I'm happy with that. Another little thing I always do is I allow it to run out of petrol, because there's that much ethanol in petrol these days that it will varnish up all around your carb. So I'm happy with that. And another little thing I'm happy about after I was on another similar tractor is that extra bit of greasing I did in the brakes, because my brakes are silent. So let's let that run out of petrol. There we go. Now at least my carb isn't full of modern petrol. So that's another little job done. It only took him literally 2 minutes just to check. You always want to hear that sound of it coming back up. So it definitely didn't have enough free play in it. So yes, that's that adjusted. I'm after taking out the drain tap from underneath there because I just can't get it to seal, and I have a new one, so I'm not sure if this will fit, so I'm going to let it just drain out the last of the antifreeze, and I'll try this for a fit. I think it just could be rust or something in the bottom of it. It might be that easy. Blow it out with the air gun maybe, I'm not sure, but every day I come in there's water underneath the tractor, and when I looking at this there's drips coming off it. So there's a new one there. We'll see now, are they the same? So after putting in antifreeze, I may as well try and keep it in there. So that's the new drain tap fitted, and the radiator is back full of water. So it's nice and dry still. There's no water hanging around it, because every day I was seeing things like puddles like that, and that was out at the very bottom of the radiator, so there's a bit of rust, but the rest of it is good. So I'll have to start it and get it up to temperature before I can put that in. So yeah, that is another little job off the list. That was annoying me. So I've just gone around the radiator, blown through all the veins there with the air gun, and just given a good checking over just to make sure there's no leaks. It doesn't seem to be leaking. There seems to be a lot of condensation on it and hanging around the bottom, and that's what's making me thinking there's a weep somewhere. But no, when it's started up and up to temperature, it seems to be dry. So that is just another little job done. So this was the one that was on it. I'll get that to focus. That's the one that was on it, and I just could not get it to seal, even tapping that with a hammer tight to try and tighten it a bit more. So I'd say it's just there's a bit of rust in it, or it's just worn out. So for the sake of that, and I had a new one, and I said I'd change it.